Mrs. Cervantes here to help you through a basic research process for working on the Mars Wax Museum biography projects. I'm going to start first by starting at the Mars homepage, which is marrs.ops.org. From there, you can see that we have our menu, and if you would click on Library, you have two options. Easy place to start right now would be to start with your book search. So I would click on Mr. Keel's library page. And the nice thing about his library page, it's very well organized. I always know how to find books because I always look for whatever picture he has there. Mr. Keel always puts in some sort of photo mural of events that have happened within our school or in the library. So I know to look underneath there and click on Mars Catalog, which is here in the top left corner. Now, to begin my research, I'm going to choose somebody from the packet that you have already been working through, and I will work on Cesar Chavez. Nice thing about Cesar Chavez is that here at Mars we have multiple listings, but because we have so many books and because you're writing 5 paragraphs, you don't want to get too much information. So I would actually begin by working with the collection area, and you can see that you have biography. So now instead of 21 options, it's now down to 15 options.
Miss Pasco, could you call the office, please? Miss Pasco, call the office.
Then, if I lower it even more to get fewer options, I would actually go to click on collection again and go to nonfiction. This has now limited my research to 3 examples. But if you don't speak Spanish, this third example might not be a very good option for you. But the first 2 would definitely be greater options. The reason why I did that, and I'll go back and show you, is that under collection I have a CD, an easy book, an easy nonfiction, and a historical fiction. We know that historical fiction is something that took place in history, but some parts of it may or may not be true. So that is why I chose the nonfiction, and I've limited myself to 3. Okay, so that's one example. Now say I choose somebody like Walt Disney. And the problem that we have here is that we obviously don't have any biographical options for Walt Disney. If I go to collection, I see 3 nonfiction, but these are not exactly biographies about Walt Disney. This is the great thing that we have here in our school district, is that I can do a district search now. Before you do a district search,
Ms. Karninsky, you have a phone call in the office. Ms. Karninsky, you have a phone call in the office.
Before I would do a district search, I would make sure that number 1, I don't have any books that are out. Number 2, that I go to talk to Mr. Keel. And the reason why I say you need to talk to Mr. Keel is because Mr. Keel would actually have to contact the media specialist or the librarian at a different school in the city, and he's very friendly, so all the media specialists love Mr. Keel just like we do, and they will work together to help you get the information that you need. So as you can see, we have Walt Disney, but that's 704 titles. Again, I would go to collection and nonfiction. Now that has brought it down to 125 options. Then if I break it down some more in collection, I could see I have easy graphic paperbacks and biography, which is obviously a better choice for us. So I'll click on biography, and now I have 4 options, and it says no copies, but there are no copies here at Mars. So I can click on check other locations, and I can see that there's a copy at Franklin and there's a copy at Prairie Wind. And depending on who Mr. Keel thinks he can get a hold of the easiest, he will definitely help you to contact a school to help you get a hold of this Walt Disney book. But remember, these are books that Mr. Keel is actually borrowing from other schools. So it is very, very important that you take good care of these books and get them to Mr. Keel as soon as you have finished your work. And that is basically how you do a book search using Mr. Keel's website. If you have any questions, again, you can come see me, Mrs. Cervantes, in 169, or as always, go talk to Mr. Keel. Hi, it's Mrs. Cervantes again, and this time I'm going to help you with the online database. Again, I would start out by clicking on Library, and this time go to Mars Library Resource page. As always, it's going to open up to the OPS School Libraries library databases. This is an option to go look through, but it shows us the same information as was on the original page. So I'm here on the page, and Mr. Keel has this great option here for us called the Biography Reference Bank. I've been looking through it over the past few days, and I'm certain that you can find most any person you would like to research here. So I will click on that, and it's going to open up in a new tab on my browser. That's okay. Again, I will do a search for Cesar Chavez. And it has many different options, but it's probably easier to just go through the first choice and choose. I would also recommend, before you go through this, limit it to names with biographies, and then where it says source types after it's done that, go to biographies. Now we have a list of people with biographies. There is the first person on here, Julio Cesar Chavez, who was actually a professional Mexican boxer. That's not who we're looking for. We're looking for Cesar Chavez, the Mexican-American labor leader. So I'm going to go ahead and click on there. And as you can see, there are 3 related biographies. And just to show you what one of the biographies might say, you have this right here. And if you scroll all the way down, you have what's called his obituary. Now, an obituary is a type of article written about a person after they have passed away. Many of you have already read about Cesar Chavez from our 6th grade biography notebook, and you know that he passed away in 1993. The nice thing about a person who has passed away, you can look at obituaries and they give you basically a brief biography of the person who has passed away. So you can see there's a great deal of information about the many contributions of Cesar Chavez. So that's one example. If I go click the back button on here, not the back button on your browser. And the reason why I would do that is because back button on your browser would take you out of this website. Use the back button on the EBSCO host. Here's another example of another biography available about him. And it's, again, very brief. The nice thing about this site is that it does give you the option to be able to listen. So if your teachers will allow you to listen to the article, you may do that. Again, if you want to just look at obituaries, you can click here on related information, And these are nothing but obituaries that were written about Cesar Chavez after his passing. Again, if you have any questions with this type of resource, please contact me, Mrs. Cervantes, or as always, go visit Mr. Akil. I'm sure he would be very happy to help you out with using this resource. I'm going to go back to the Myers Library resource page, and another option we have here in the school is student resources. So if you click on there, you can see one of the first options underneath the photograph, which is always changing, is a biography option. So if I click on View All, I have a list of biographies that are available. Again, I'm still looking for Cesar Chavez. If I click on him, there is a brief article, almost like an encyclopedia article. I can listen to this article again. And it is an encyclopedia article, I'm sorry. It says Encyclopedia of World Biography. So Encyclopedia of World Biography is an encyclopedia of nothing but biographies. And again, there is information about his life. You can email this. I have not tried that, but if you want to kind of experiment with that, that might be an option. You can download it, which would allow you to have a file that you can, download and maybe even print, maybe save that to your network. Again, there's a translation option if you would like to share this with a parent who doesn't speak English, and so they can maybe look at it in Spanish. But this is a very interesting resource that you have available. Here's some more reference information. More information that would be more encyclopedia-like. There's magazine articles that you can look at and learn about Cesar Chavez. Primary sources. Now this is very interesting because primary sources are actual documents that were written at that time about that person. So perhaps these would include actual interviews of Cesar Chavez. Then again, you have more articles. There's some websites that talk about Cesar Chavez. And again, if you don't want to look through that, you can also use this list feature here that'll help you find information. But lots of great information. Oh, images. This is a very important one for our project since you do need to include images on the cover page. So if you want good images for whoever you're discussing, as long as they are listed here in the student resources, you would be able to find a great deal of great images of the person who is your topic. Again, if you have any questions about this resource, please come see me, Mrs. Cervantes in 169, or go ahead and visit with Mr. Akil. He is definitely always welcome, is always very welcoming to students like yourself. But these are all very useful resources that will help you find a great deal of your information from reliable, trustworthy sources. Thank you and good luck in your research.